So we got this issue again where we're talking about the racism in Hawaii. Now this has been ongoing for a very long time. All you have to do is look up Kill Haole Day. At the end of school every year, Hawaiian kids go around beating up white kids, basically. This has been ongoing for decades and decades. So, I mean, there's that. You can look up Laird Hamilton, world-renowned surfer, grew up in Kauai, was born and raised in Hawaii. Talks about the racism he suffered from the very first day of school, all the way back to kindergarten. And, he's a big, tough guy. He can handle himself. And he's not one to take pity, but, he's talking about what the racism's like here. You can just look that up on YouTube. It was a recent interview a couple months ago. Laird Hamilton, world-renowned surfer. So the racism here is established. And then you look at King Kamehameha schools. I listen to their radio ads on KWXX here in Hawaii and Hilo, Hawaii, and on the west side too, where they talk about how King Kamehameha schools gives preference to people of Hawaiian heritage. And right now, they literally have no non-Hawaiian people in their school. The last time somebody tried in 2007 to get a place in their school, they were sued because they forbid him from entering the school after they found out he was Caucasian. So his name is Kalani. He was born and raised here in the Hawaiian Islands, and he got an invitation to apply. He applied. They accepted him. He showed up for school, and they denied him, and they paid him something like $7 million to squash the case because they knew they were wrong, or else why would they pay? So King Kamehameha Schools is a Hawaiian-only school. Then you've got Department of Hawaiian Homelands that gives land to those with 50% Hawaiian blood quantum, 50% or more blood quantum that is Hawaiian, and nobody else. So there's another, racial law. Now, people talk about what discrimination and privilege means. Privilege is a right or immunity granted as a particular benefit, advantage, or favor, prerogative especially, such a right or immunity attached to a specific position or an office, or racial preference. Like if you are of a certain race or ethnicity and you give somebody else discrimination, if you're like, nope, we won't accept you because you're of a different ethnicity, that's racial discrimination. That's racism. And they're saying, no, this is just inheritance, whatever. No, I mean, if a government or an organization, a corporation said, listen, we only benefit white people, the exact definition or the exact example that I used, let me see if I can pull that up. And I just wanted to document some of these false claims that I have bullied somebody or hurt somebody's feelings or whatever, because it's not the case. But they use that when they're like, oh, okay, we're losing the argument. Look what you did. You bullied somebody, or, oh, you're racist or whatever. So here's what I use. This is an example. I said, I believe this is also an example of racism. In England, with Brexit and other immigration issues they are having now, there are genetic Englishmen in England saying, this is England, and we are English, and non-English and Muslims need to leave England. And others say, these are English homelands, and non-English should be forbidden from owning property here. It is the same thing, divide and conquer based on ethnicity. My belief is, 1, we are human, period. No other race. There's only one race in humanity, and that's human. 2, our home is Earth, period. It's not, okay, I was born in this particular neighborhood, and so nobody else can ever buy a house here. It's like saying, okay, I own this house right now, right? Where I live here in Hawaii.
Points. So there are Americans whose present benefits are due to past advantage. By the way, this past advantage, which is often assumed to continue with the white man, actually goes all the way back to the beginning. The American Indians who were here first, right, had a huge advantage. We presume that they owned the whole country. Now, by the way, let's pause for a moment. How do you get to own a country? If you have Cain and Abel is a shepherd, and Cain is a farmer, and Cain says, okay, I'm not going to put a fence around the whole world. I own it, because I'm the only guy here. You're a shepherd. And my descendants will now inherit the earth, and anybody who shows up is a usurper. Rousseau says that the first guy who puts up a fence and claims he owns something is a con man.
And because I own it now, doesn't mean that sometime in the future somebody else isn't going to be able to own it just because I owned it now. It's not going to go down through my family lineage, indefinitely just because they are of my genetics. What if my family sold it or gave it away, or what if it was annexed, or what if there was an easement given through the city or through the community that I live in? They can do that. They can make an easement, and then they have to give you some kind of compensation, and then they take the land. I mean, there's really very little negotiation on that. Or if my son, I gave this house to my kids, and my kids decided that they were going to sell it, that doesn't mean that forever they own it, right? I mean, before the 1852 Constitution of Hawaii, nobody owned land. Only the king did. The king and a few of the chiefs. Nobody else owned land, And then in 1852, people were given a couple of years to make a claim on the land they've lived in. If they've always lived there and it's their family's dwelling and they've had the land in their family for a long time, they had 2 years to go and make a claim. Those who didn't make a claim didn't get a title to their land. And so now, 100 and some odd years later, they're upset about it. 75 years after that, after the 1852 Constitution. So, I mean, but that's the thing, I am not going to be able to indefinitely pass this on to my generations that I have, my progeny, Just because I own it now does not mean my family will always own this land that I live on. That's just irrelevant. That doesn't make any sense to say that because some genetic relationship of mine, maybe not even my family, but somebody that was genetically similar to me, owned this piece of property, that means that we will always own it forever and indefinitely until time and eternity. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. But I mean, same thing with the issues here in Hawaii. The Kill Holiday, the King Kamehameha schools rejecting anybody but Hawaiians, the Department of Hawaiian Homelands that gives free leases, or at least like $1 leases to people because of their genetics. I mean, all of that is racial discrimination. It's racism. It's institutionalized racism, and it's wrong. If it was reversed, if, say, for example, it was a white college, say, or, some private white college, and they wouldn't accept any black people, I mean, that would be racist. Obviously, the Supreme Court would come in and stomp it down. I don't care that, people might agree with it. It doesn't matter. It's racist. And if we're going to reject racism, we need to reject racism as a whole, not just bits and pieces. There's some people who think that brown people can't be racist. That's the furthest thing from the truth. So I'll just show you this conversation. I mean, it's going to be long and drawn out. Someone right here says, I just want to read this really quick, and then I'll get on to the next one. Let's see. It says, if you were to pass away and left your land to your kids, would that be racist? We are descendants and beneficiaries of people who happen to be of certain ethnicity. Take away the fact of being Hawaiian. Now is my inherited right racist? Or is it racist because it doesn't benefit those non-descendants? And then they said, look up the legal terms. It is most definitely a right, not a privilege. And then I responded, you mean if I left something that I actually own to a direct descendant of mine? No, that I should be able to pass on my property to my kids. But you were conflating issues here. We are not talking about direct ancestors. We are talking about a nation that was ceded to the USA. And even in the 1852 Constitution of the Hawaiian Kingdom, it says that all subjects in Hawaii had the same rights, whether genetic Hawaiian or not, including the right to own lands. If you look at John Young and Isaac Davis, two European alii who King Kamehameha brought into the kingdom and who made them members of the Hawaiian aristocracy, those two chiefs, who were much different genetics, became pivotal in King Kamehameha's goal of uniting the islands. In fact, Queen Emma's grandfather was John Young. So genetics should not be a qualifier, since all kingdom subjects in 1852, whether genetic or naturalized, had the same rights of ownership. And then I quoted them. They say, take away the fact of being Hawaiian. Now is my inherent right racist? And I say yes, because it is based on blood quantum and nothing else. You do not have to be a descendant of the Hawaiian aristocracy to get DHHL lands. You have to be a genetic Hawaiian of a certain blood quantum, meaning racism. So yeah, it's definitely a privilege. A right or immunity granted as a particular benefit, advantage, or favor. That's what it is. And it's racism. Now, this person had a conversation with me, and then they took all of their comments that they made to me and reposted them somewhere else. And then they added things that weren't ever said in the conversation we had. So I called them out on it. And they're like, if you make and they don't use their real name, they don't use their real photo, they don't have any videos, they're a completely anonymous account, right? So I go over here, it says Aloha Aina. This channel doesn't have any content, so I don't know anything about them. All I know is that they're making a bunch of claims, and most of it's nonsense. So they say, if you make us choose between us and them, you already know the answer to that. Once upon a time, our families mixed. We had no choice but to accept all. Today, after our struggles and the fact that the state is the fake Republic of America, who took our queen captive, anything stolen doesn't suddenly become not stolen. It is still stolen and withheld from us, no matter who illegally occupies our country. It's acts against our neutral nation. Those who would become comfortable elsewhere can feel free to go. We cannot. We will suffer, prevail, and protest, and live as we do, as we must. Okay, so 520,000 genetic Hawaiians live on the mainland of the USA. Less than 100,000 genetic Hawaiians live in Hawaii. And it's because these people push away opportunity, just like they're pushing away the TMT. There's no jobs here. So of course they have to go to the mainland USA and get jobs. And they love it there. There's plenty of opportunity. Everybody accepts them. They're not being, they're not having a kill this day or kill that day like they do here in Hawaii on the Haole. Everybody's accepted, especially Hawaiians. People love Hawaiians in the United States. And so they go there and they get jobs and they find opportunity and they buy homes and they live there. I mean, most of my girlfriends growing up were either Hawaiian or Native American. I had a lot of them that lived in my neighborhood, and I loved them. I still do. And then she replies, this is another comment that she had sent to me in another conversation, but she reposted it separately here. And they're saying that she is a she now. I had no idea to begin with, because somewhere along here, he, whatever, said that they had a beard and a bald head or something like that. So I don't know. Anyway, it's confusing. So they say, my people are through with this BS. We have rights here, which are not taken seriously and afforded to all people. Well, by saying that all lives matter, you have just degraded our right. This is known. And then she quotes herself, or he quotes himself, whoever. All lives matter. All Hawaii has a right to say what happens on Mauna Kea. She said, you better take that BS back to America, as if America didn't have their own mountains, or did you not care for your environment? Now you need to force your way up our sacred mountain? Between space and our Mauna? Mauna is important and is a required factor for us. TMT isn't, and will never have priority over our sacred Mauna. And so I said, I'm not sure who you were talking to. You have posted these same 3 comments twice, once to me and then once randomly again in this thread, which no one is replying to. I just wanted to let you know that no one else is commenting on this thread. So you have 3 lone comments that looks like you are talking to yourself. You quoted someone saying, all lives matter, all Hawaii has right to say what happens on Mauna Kea. Said you were literally quoting nothing, since no one in this conversation said this. As for a reply to all this stuff, where it looks like you were just talking to yourself, this is my reply. Hawaiian history from a Haole in Hawaii. So this person says, they are from a conversation I had. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Okay, but the conversation isn't this one. And if the conversation was with me, because she had posted these, or he had, whoever they are, posted these to me in a separate thread. The same things, with the added one of that whole all lives matter thing. I don't know where that one came from. I said, you just sounded insane talking to yourself. I thought I'd point it out. I have watched this whole conversation, and you were answering questions and statements that had never been posted. I don't have a problem with it. It was just funny. Then he or she said, what I do is spread truth and light on corruption, the fake and the snakes. If you keep popping in a conversation with me, chances are you're one of the fake snake trolls, paid to bully, harass, and instigate arguments with my people and our supporters. Of course, we do this for free. And Haole TMT. I said, well, I do what I do for free. I don't get paid by anyone. I'm not like the 90% of punatics that are getting government handouts either. Yeah, Hawaii is the top place to get government handouts. You know that, right? How much has OHA contributed to the protesters? How much has Jason Momoa contributed to the protesters? How much have they collected for their protests so far? The last I heard, it was over $1 million. I don't get paid. I can promise you that. I work for a living. And then I replied to, what I do is spread truth and light on corruption. I said, you wouldn't know truth if it slapped you in the face. Look at your fake anonymous account. And then he or she quoted me, love to quote honest snakes, no such thing as an honest snake. And wouldn't you like that I made an account private? Oh, and you don't like that I made my account private. You want to get personal, learn about me, so you can bully and harass me better? It's hard without ammunition, isn't it? How about I say, I'm white with a beard? See, so it's confusing. She's saying she's white with a beard. I thought she said bald, or he or she said bald. I'm white with a beard. And I don't care about anyone but myself. Oh, wait, I just described you. So I'm not sure what she's saying here. Is she the bearded woman? Because, now they're saying she's a girl. I have no idea. That's the problem with these anonymous accounts. And she says, no, you don't speak truth. You speak snake. No, you don't do this for free. No one would do what you do for free. I have found many of you. And the longer you harass me, the more we know what I said you are. Rude, greedy, want our precious TMT. Liar. And he or she says, no means no. I said, I'm saying that you have zero credibility when you insult people or make accusations, launching your attacks from an anonymous account. You funny. She said, you, on the other hand, your credit has been denied. Please shut the door behind you. And she says, I choose my people. No means no. I said, and you have credibility waging insults from an anonymous account on the internet? ROFL. Okay, keyboard warrior, good luck. And then I quote, I choose my people. I said, I choose humanity. I do not play divide and conquer. I do not classify humanity into groups such as this ethnicity or that ethnicity. I think racial-based privilege and racial-based ownership just hurts the common goal of progress and unity. You can play the race card. You can launch insults from an anonymous internet account to stir up trouble all you want. But your goal won't be met. People are done with racism. Our species has evolved past that. I am not impressed. And then more insults. You have no humanity, only greed. These two things are true from you, all you rude, racist post. I repeat yet again, because you can't read or comprehend what I'm saying, because you can't. Because you need to get TMT paid. Save it. You got nothing I need or want. In fact, you got nothing anyone needs or wants. I choose my people. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then again, more insults. For those of you who don't know, this is a great example of our state. They will straddle. They seem to like to conduct for us when they really work for themselves. They do not stop, no matter how many times we repeat ourselves, no matter how many times we explain. Some are just not worth it, like this fake snake Ryan, because they don't want to be. They don't listen. They don't care. But it's nothing new. We have been dealing with this kind of treatment for 200 years. My vote is stop the abuse of my people, our environment, our assets, our reputation, etc. And then more. Fake snakes like Ryan here. They will intimidate. They will harass. They will belittle. They will take what they want. They do not take no for an answer. They are foul beings. And then I said to her, or him, whatever, you insult me, you insult my family and threaten me behind an anonymous account and then play the victim. You are just embarrassed about being racist. Stay anonymous. And then this guy, see you dumb Haole, you just as racist as us, so quit your crying. You claim we are racist, and you are not. Your comment is both ignorant and racist, just like how you claimed all Hawaiian and Puna live like pigs. Scrub dumb Haole. I never said that, but I do say that Puna is, by the numbers, one of the highest counties or the highest districts, I guess, but because Puna's not a county, but Hawaii County is one of the highest counties for taking welfare in all of the USA. I never said anything about pigs. What are you talking about, idiot? And then they say, Aloha Aina, no worry, I live in the area of this dumb Haole, gave him my name and number, and his tails went in his ass. We'll set this asshole straight when our paths cross. No worries, sister. So apparently he's saying she's a female. This is important later. I'll show you why. Hubba bubba baba, just no get hurt, no get in trouble. He can't hurt me, I'm a machine. That's what he says. I say, you're saying you're looking for me to hurt me? You never posted your name or number, don't lie. Please do. It'll help the police identify you after you attempt to assault me. But just stay anonymous, makes it easier for you to threaten people. He says, oh my God, Ryan, Ryan is so oblivious. Busy chilling with Olene, talking about my life, Mauna, our people. Ola TMT, no means no, leave us alone. And then he says, Olen guy, no stupid ass, I wrote to you on Disruptarian videos so I could do a live broadcast to our tour station and crush you. Kenneth Conklin research. You bring your documents and I'll bring mine to see who make more relevant argument. I know better than to threaten turds like you when you have no balls and will go run and scream to the police. I would rather smash you with my intellect. Physically is too easy. Olin Rosshill, born and raised in Puna, attended Momoa 1996 to 2003, 2 degrees, and played football for them. Google it. Hell, he could be anybody. I could say I was Freddie Mercury, man. Doesn't mean I am. Especially with an anonymous account, right? He says, now you know how I look and now how you look. No surprises. Ta-ta. And then he says, comedian, I'm a lot smarter than you. I've listened to your ignorance so much it makes me puke. You said you would drive around Puna filming where Hawaiian live to show we're supposed to live like pig. No, I said that I have in fact posted it too. I said there's burned out cars and trashed vehicles dripping oil all over Puna. It's a fact. I mean, I filmed it and posted it. You can see it. I'll even post a link here. Yeah, it's true. If they care so much about Mauna Kea, why are they up there with their old broke down vehicles that are dripping oil and antifreeze all over the ground? Hardly anybody. I would say maybe 75 people, maybe 50. Look at this old beat down bus. Wonder if it's leaking. Something that old. That's a 60s bus. I imagine there's a few oil leaks on some of these cars. I'm telling you. Seems likely. I mean, some of these are just broke down pieces of shit. They bring them up here and park them for days, weeks, months. Lord only knows if they're leaking or not, but I imagine a couple of them are. They want to talk about desecration. I'm not convinced they're not desecrating. Now I came up on the other side, going towards Waikoloa from Hilo earlier. Now I'm going from Waikoloa down to Hilo. And yeah, like I say, it's been significantly reduced from what it was. You see these tents out here? The cars used to go all the way out to where these tents are, even further. And now not anymore. Hardly any cars up here, hardly any people up here. It's dwindling down quite a bit. I assume it's going to be over with soon. I hope so. People need to get back to work. There may have been 100 people there. I imagine about 75. But they need to stop obstructing people from their livelihoods, their jobs, feeding their families. You know, if they want to protest, protest, but don't hurt other people in the process. You know? And building buildings and stuff, they say it's sacred and shouldn't be built on. That Mauna up there is sacred and nobody should build up there. But they're building up there. They're bringing their trash cars up there that leak and, you know, cause all sorts of environmental issues. So my point was, if they really cared about the Mauna, why are they desecrating it? You know, I mean, for a long time they didn't even have uh, porta potties up there, and the Kapuna was on Big Island Video News saying, "Well, it's becoming a health hazard because we don't have porta potties because we were denied the porta potty permits."
And I tell you one more thing, it's just in the details, but he used these details to try and paint a different picture of us. He talks about health and sanitation. We had one sanitoy, one of those portable toilets brought up here on near the kupuna tent so that the kupuna could use it. And I believe that the owner of that company was threatened with a fine. And there was a request for us to put toilets up here on this side of the road because that would certainly alleviate the foot traffic that has to cross into the Pu'uhonua to use the toilets. And that is not being allowed. So if there is a health and sanitation crisis about to happen, it's your fault.
And so, you know, people are using the bathroom out here on the land, and it's becoming a health hazard. They said that on live TV. So I've never said anything about pigs. I said that there's so much pollution here on the island in Puna, where it's like 90% Native Hawaiians, and I know that, you know, people in my neighborhood are polluting and dumping cars and setting fires to cars and, you know, just abandoning vehicles all over the place with all kinds of environmental damage. That's all I've ever said. Now, if he can point out where I said anything else, that'd be funny, because he can't. There's just nothing here that I've said anything like that. And then we said, when you tried to pass off Kenneth Conklin as PhD in Hawaiian Studies, F that, lying ass. He's a PhD in math. He don't know crap about Hawaiian history, but you love to quote his research. So let's look up Kenneth Conklin. Kenneth Conklin has been an expert witness for the government in Hawaiian history, and he is a PhD. So let's see. See if I can get all this. Okay, Sunday, November 15, 2009, Kenneth Conklin and Joe Orcio, professor of Hawaiian Studies, were interviewed separately regarding race in Hawaii, and the greatly shortened and edited results were a focus of this 9-minute segment broadcast on National Public Radio, Weekend Edition. June 18, 2008, Kenneth Conklin was interviewed by Tom Mulliff, Director of Communications for Grassroots Institute, Hawaii. The interview discussed Conklin's background, commitment to the principles of unity and equality, opposition to the Akaka Bill, and hopes for a future. Let's see, Kenneth Conklin was a sole guest on KKCR Community Radio, Island of Kauai, program Kauai Soapbox. Because of the controversy on Kauai, the first topic was Hawaiian native burials, followed by sovereignty issues in general. And then Honolulu City Council held a public hearing on a resolution to support the Akaka Bill. Kenneth Conklin gave testimony and was questioned by council members for about 15 minutes. 2 YouTube videos include that material at this link here. So, I mean, he's been, you know, an expert witness. He's written many books on this. Let's see here. Personal and academic background before coming to Hawaii. Born and raised in Chicago and Niles, Illinois, his father sold woodworking machinery on commission to schools for small factories in a territory including Illinois and Hawaii. Mother worked as an office clerk in a small specialized manufacturing plant of a large corporation. As a high school student, I took advantage of placement courses in mathematics, chemistry, and English. When the AP program was just getting started nationwide, plus 4 years of German and 2 years of Russian, worked as a clerk in a stationery store, held 3 summer-long jobs in Chicago between college years, and a garbage man, factory floor worker, and actual assistant in a life insurance company. Attended University of Illinois, Urbana, for all 3 degrees, full-time, 7 years. Completed BS in 2 years because of advanced placement credit from high school, proficiency test to certify independent studies and course loads of 20 to 25 credits per semester. Master's in teaching mathematics, PhD, philosophy and educational theory. He said he had a PhD in mathematics. The guy was wrong. So, teaching career for 30 years continuously in philosophy, educational theory, and mathematics, including assistant professor of philosophical, historical, and social foundations on education in Oakland University, branch of Michigan State, assistant professor of philosophical, historical, and social foundations of education at Emory University, associate professor of philosophy of education at Boston University, visiting professor of University of Illinois and University of Michigan. So he taught in 7th grade and so on and so forth as well. professional and academics in Hawaii. Visited Hawaii 3 summer vacations, 82 to 89. Moved permanently to Hawaii in 1992. Studied Hawaiian history, culture, language, 1992 to 1995 night school. Speak Hawaiian with modern fluency. Attended hundreds of Hawaiian sovereignty public rallies and smaller meetings. U.S. Census Bureau worked on occasional data gathering projects 1998 to 2006, interviewing thousands of people of all ethnicities and income levels in their homes. Ran for office of Hawaiian Affairs trustee November 2000, placed 4th out of 20 candidates with 18,115 votes. Taught mathematics half-time at Windward Community College, fall of 2002. Taught 12-hour short course on Hawaiian sovereignty at University of Hawaii, Manoa, fall 2002, which was nearly canceled before it started due to intimidation and threats of violence from Hawaiian sovereignty activists. See University of Hawaii and Hawaiian Sovereignty, a case of study in political correctness run amok. Published perhaps 300 comments and letters about Hawaiian sovereignty in about a dozen Hawaii newspapers and some mainland newspapers, numerous appearances on radio and television programs and podcasts. Co-editor of website containing the entire scanned and digitized 808-page Morgan Report, plus summaries of individual testimonies and compilations of related portions of it. The Morgan Report is the official report of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, published February 1894, regarding the U.S. role in Hawaii Revolution that overthrew the monarchy January 17, 1893. Researcher and content author of webpage providing 100 photos and formal letters of diplomatic recognition of the Republic of Hawaii in 1894, rediscovered in the Hawaii State Archives in 2008. The letters are personally signed by emperors, kings, queens, and presidents of the last 20 nations of the 4 continents, or of at least 20 nations on 4 continents in 11 languages, and some are accompanied by translations, cover letters from foreign ministers, and envelopes. Photographs of the originals, plus Lily Ukulani's letter of abdication and loyalty oath of the Republic, are at these 2 websites, and I've also got them at disruptarian.com. And then his books, let me just see if I can find the books. Oh yeah, this one about Hawaiian sovereignty. Wrote a book in 2007 whose primary purpose was to make crystal clear what the majority threat is posed by the Hawaiian sovereignty movement, Hawaii apartheid, racial separatism, and ethnic nationalism in the Aloha State. So those are 2 books. I thought it was 4. I think it might be 2. So anyway, no, he's not just a PhD of mathematics. He's taught history. He's taught all kinds of things, and he's got 3 actual degrees: PhD in philosophy and educational theory, dissertation, the relevance between philosophic theory and educational practice, master's degree in teaching of mathematics, and bachelor's degree in mathematics. So, I mean, aside from that, teaching philosophy, philosophical, historical, and social foundations, philosophical, historical, and social foundations. So yeah, he's taught history, and he's got 3 degrees. So that guy was wrong. Let's just put it that way. And let's see, what else? Oh my gosh, this guy goes on. Oh, he says right here, this is where he says he watched me trying to bully a girl. He says, Ryan Thompson, watch trying to bully girl on this thread like some ugly tough guy. I don't just talk whatsoever. Maybe if you like talking shit so much, you could call me a piece of shit and see where that gets you. I can't wait to see you in person because it will be embarrassing for you when I repeat what you say about Hawaiians and see if you got the balls to what you say. Looking forward to meeting you one day. My goal is to expose your stupid ass without harming your fragile ass. So I've posted everything I have to say for anybody to read it. And that's why I make these videos. Them saying that I bullied some girl, well, earlier, if it is a girl, she said she had a beard and she was white. So if she's a bearded white lady, that's a little bit weird. But, I mean, this person has no accountability. This is their page. Aloha Aina? That's not a name. That's a fake name. What's their picture? Some graphic. Do they have any videos? No. I didn't bully no girl. I bullied some fake internet account that's sitting there calling me a snake and whatever else. Let's see what else this person called me. They're bullies harassing my people. I saw when they tied up our people like animals, tossed them in paddy. They tied themselves to a fence. What are you talking about? Auntie, uncle, siblings. Ryan, change your name to nothing but trash. Because of shit bags like you. Let's see. What else did this person say? He or she, who knows? Let's see. Our race for culture, liberation. Let's see. But that makes you blind, deaf, and or retarded because you seem to have not been paying attention. Blah, blah, blah. More insults. You type too much. Try to make it more important. Blah, blah, blah. Said, you scared if we rule? That's what we should do. As long as they're ruling. Let's see what else. I mean, it's just tons of stuff. What else has she said? He or she. Hopes and dreams. Struggle. Where else is it? Anyway, I think that's all there is. I haven't said anything cruel to her. I mean, calling me a snake, calling me a bag of shit, calling me retarded. If this is a woman, she's not exposing herself as a woman. I mean, she's keeping he or she is keeping her identity completely anonymous. But see, they have to make up these false narratives and then accuse you of things that you've never done. None of these things I ever did, and I never claimed Ken Conklin was a PhD in Hawaiian studies. I said that he has taught Hawaiian studies and he is a PhD. He's a doctor, similar to Keanu Sai. The only difference between Ken Conklin and Keanu Sai is that Ken Conklin doesn't have multiple felonies for ripping people off like Ken Conklin does, or like Keanu Sai does. Keanu Sai has his fake title company. He charges desperate and poor Hawaiians that are upside down in their mortgage $1,500 to do this title search, saying that it will free them from their mortgage because title insurance will have to pay for their mortgage because the titles were done incorrectly based on the fake occupation of the United States in Hawaii. He makes this big presentation. He gets these people who are absolutely upside down in their mortgage. They can't afford $1,500. They pay him. Over 300 people have paid him $1,500 and gotten nothing in return for it. And Keanu Sai has gotten one felony so far, and he's up for another one right now as of January of 2019, I think, or November of 2018, I think. And so he's still in the court process for the second one, but he offers a service. He charges people money. He says the end goal is to have the title company pay their mortgage off if they prove that this title was made incorrectly. So people believe that he's able to do this, and then he doesn't do it, and now they've, accused him of crimes, which he's been charged with and convicted for. Ken Conklin has taught Hawaiian studies. Ken Conklin has written multiple books about Hawaiian studies. Ken Conklin has been an expert witness on Hawaiian studies. Ken Conklin has taught Hawaiian studies at university, multiple times. So that's what I said. Now, him conflating it, saying that I said that Ken Conklin was a PhD in Hawaiian studies. No, I said Ken Conklin was a PhD and he has taught Hawaiian studies. And he has, professionally, at a university here in Hawaii. And no, I didn't threaten anybody. No, I didn't call anybody derogatory names. All of what I have said is right here to be seen. There's no gaps. Everything I've said is right here. Now, they have called me horrible names and threatened me, said that when our paths cross, they're going to teach me a lesson, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just ridiculous, the lengths that they go to. And I will definitely be voting against Senator Senator Kai Kahele. This guy is one of these racists. I mean, there's no doubt.